Okay, let's talk about one of the biggest ways a high-end wedding venue can accidentally shoot itself in the foot. It happens right at the front door, at the very first moment a guest arrives, and it can undo all of your hard work.
You know the scene. A guest walks up, they're excited for the day, and they're met by a staff member holding a clipboard who asks that one dreaded question. Are you on the list? And then there's that awkward pause, right? The frantic page flipping, the search for a name. It's not just clunky, it's the very first sign that things might not be as smooth as they look.
And here's the thing you absolutely have to understand. That one fumbling moment, it quietly undermines everything you've done to create a perfect day. It's like a tiny crack in a flawless facade.
So let's call this what it is, the first impression fumble. This is that moment where the beautiful, polished image of your venue just collides head-on with the messy reality of outdated paperwork.
I mean, think about it. As a venue owner, you pour your heart and soul into every detail, right? The stunning decor, the tables set just so, the pristine gardens. You build this entire world that's all about precision, elegance, and perfection.
But before your guests even get a chance to see that spectacular dining room, their very first experience is confusion. It's watching a stressed staff member wrestling with a piece of paper. And right there, that perfect image you built starts to wobble.
And this is so crucial. That moment, whether you mean for it to or not, sends a really powerful message. And it's this. This venue is not fully in control. And that is the absolute last thing you want anyone thinking.
So how does this even happen? Well, that brings us right to the heart of the problem, the chaos of paper. This is where we look at the root cause and see how this one little thing puts your whole operation under a ton of stress.
Have you ever stopped to wonder why this is so common? I mean, why does this awkward check-in dance seem to happen at almost every single wedding, no matter how fancy the venue? Well, the answer is pretty simple. The system, and I'm using that word very loosely here, is just a chaotic mix of outdated stuff. You've got printed spreadsheets, handwritten notes, things someone mentioned in passing, staff trying to remember faces, and of course, the last-minute text from the bride with changes. It's an analog mess in a digital world.
And who's stuck dealing with all this chaos? Your staff. They're on the front lines, under a ton of pressure, to find names, figure out who a +1 is, and answer questions they shouldn't have to. It's a recipe for stress, plain and simple. Now, here is the most critical part for your business. When things get confusing at the door, who gets the blame? Guests don't think, oh, the bride must have forgotten. No way. They connect that feeling of disorganization directly with your venue. That's where the real damage to your brand happens.
See, the fundamental problem here is that manual systems are built on a complete lie. They assume a wedding guest list is a fixed, static thing. But we all know weddings are the exact opposite. They are living, breathing events where things change right up to the very last second.
And that brings us to the simple, unavoidable truth of it all. A piece of paper, printed hours or even days ago, just cannot keep up. It's impossible.
So, enough of the problem. What's the solution? Let's talk about a more professional way to do things. Let's talk about how you can go from chaos to complete control. Let's just look at this side by side. The old way, you've got outdated paper, which leads to stressed staff, which creates confused guests, and all of that gives your venue an outdated image. The modern way flips that whole script. You have a live guest list, which gives you confident staff, which leads to an effortless entry for guests, and that reinforces a professional, modern brand. The difference is night and day.
So what does this professional approach actually look like? Well, it's a single live guest list that your whole team can access. It means you instantly know who RSVP'd, you have all the dietary info right there, and it's a system your staff can use to find a guest and check them in seconds.
And you know, the best part about all of this is that it's not some massive, complicated project. Let's look at the simple digital upgrade that can totally restore and even boost your venue's image. The process is honestly so straightforward. First, the guests put their own info into a digital RSVP system. That means the guest list is always updating itself live in real time. Then your staff can pull up that perfectly accurate information on a phone or a tablet. And just like that, printed lists are a thing of the past.
It really is that simple. This one change takes all that frantic, chaotic energy at the front door and swaps it out for a calm, quiet efficiency that feels absolutely effortless to every single guest.
And the results? They speak for themselves. Your staff feels confident because they actually have the right information. Your venue looks modern and professional from the get-go.
And, maybe most importantly, you have a reassured bride who knows her big day is in truly capable hands.
Because when it comes down to it, real professionalism isn't just about how beautiful a space looks. It's a direct reflection of how smoothly everything runs, especially the parts the guests can see.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about for your own venue. That first moment when a guest arrives, is that moment reinforcing the amazing professional brand you've worked so hard to build, or is it quietly undermining it?